Day 3 of the first of its kind Virtual Property Expo 2020, organized by Mogul.sg and supported by Vivid 3 Productions. Good morning, everyone. You're in great company here at the Property Talk Show. I'm Michelle Martin, your host this morning. Very warm welcome. Now, these sessions with me are designed to give you access to property insights from the main players in the industry themselves. You'll hear from 4 speakers today, each of whom will have 15 minutes with us. And today we're going to learn insider tips on how you can best market your property creatively so that you're enhancing its value for the sale. You don't want to miss that. Then investors, we're going to look at plans afoot for 2 areas, the popular Holland Village area here in Singapore and the southern waterfront area. What are the plans? I hear there are 2 promotions available for new buyers that we are going to be able to share with you. We've been working with developers here at the Expo to get you the best deals. But first, we're going to turn the spotlight on a luxury development, the units available, even the price points. I'm going to cover it all with Kelvin Tong, he's Senior Group District Division Director representing Guoco Land, here to tell us more about living in a signature home. I like the sound of that. Good morning, Kelvin. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Michelle.
Welcome to the program. So
Yeah.
I know you have great experience marketing luxury developments. There's so many, it seems, these days. So
Mhm.
what factors really differentiate one luxury development from another?
Well, my take is that the brand positioning of the developer and its products are probably one of the greatest factors that complement all the other micro factors. And a developer with a single successful development creation versus another who has done it over and over again with a good track record builds on this confidence and its fan club. And with a deeper understanding of what their clients want in the development, it's accumulatively collected and to be reviewed and improved on in the future developments that they build.
Sounds good to me. Now, with reference to the previous developments of Guoco Land, what do you think has really contributed to the benchmark that Guoco Land has set in the luxury segment?
Well, I guess the 2 most recent developments would be Goodwood Residences and Leiden Residences, which have somewhat defined a new benchmark for their residential developments thereafter, leading the way in the luxury segment. Now, Guacoland knows what people want. They go beyond building homes. They are selling a true lifestyle, and most developments adopt the use of marble, steel, and glass to elevate the atas feel of the modern luxury, but in which also sacrifices the warmth of a home. So now Guacoland brings nature into their developments, enhancing the landscaping to resemble modern gardens.
That is a great point, that it can seem so cold, but you need these touches and you need to bring nature in to liven things up and set the warmth factor going. Great point there. When it comes to Martin Modern, what has Guocoland done to achieve development in the sales? I understand what 90% has been sold of Martin Modern. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So, what has Guocoland done to be able to achieve this?
I think Martin Modern's success is attributed to several factors. One of them is the location. The location is chic and popular and conveniently located between the central business district and the Orchard shopping belt. And commuting to work and coming back to a nearby F&B or bistro on a weekday and heading out by foot to the shopping belt on the weekend is just extremely convenient, which constituted to the reason why many expatriate tenants are wanting to live in this enclave. And adding on, when we have an incoming Great World MRT that is going to open its doors, there's going to be more tenant demand that's heading this way. And this exclusive enclave has a very unique charm of its own. So whenever I'm actually there in Robertson Quay, I don't actually feel that I'm in Singapore because there's a lot of history running down these lanes dating back in the 1800s and 1900s. So these days with the conservation shop houses, the walk-up apartments, the very unique boutique developments that hang around in this enclave actually enhances this whole entire space. So it really feels very different and it's really a real true collection. And I think what Guacoland has done right as well was to use a local architect because most art market developments, they will try to use an international architect, but this time around they chose to use a local architect who is none other than Yip Yuan Hong. And this Mr. Yip himself, he's actually principal architect for this development, and he has also been winning a lot of the President Design Awards for Singapore. And he knows the history of this place. He knows the history of Singapore, and his bold designs of keeping 80% of the land for landscaping was to pay tribute to the nutmeg plantations that were standing on this land in the 1800s, and to create an industrialized outlook appearance was also to pay tribute to the go downs of the 1900s, which used to sit on this same plot. And the raw outlook was to enhance the experience when you enter the apartment with, huge contrast of luxury with polished surfaces, high-end provisions, and that really made the place look stunning, right? And Guacoland, it's a very dedicated developer. They actually even went to the fact of selecting an array of different brands of appliances based on their expertise and not just for the convenience of ordering from one vendor. And that displayed Guacoland's philosophy of being people-centric, as the live-in experience seems to matter more than anything else. And finally, I think for Martin Modern, it's the high efficient layouts that have been hands down with very careful calculations of usage of space required in each of these areas of the apartment.
Sounds fabulous, especially the inclusion of an ode to history in the design and the setup. Really, really great attention to detail there. So I understand it's going to be completed mid-2021, is that right?
That's right.
But it's already won several awards. So can you take us through some of them?
Okay, so basically, to run through that, I think they have won some 6 to 7 awards, and they have won in the categories of like Best Luxury Condo Development in Singapore. We have got the BCA mark for Gold Plus, and we are also awarded the Property Guru Asia Property Awards, as well as the Best Luxury Condo Landscape Archi Design, and the Best Luxury Condo Archi Design, and the Best Residential Green Development.
That's a lot of bests.
Yeah.
The best part of Martin Modern, I think, is that it has my name on it pretty much. Tell me, are the units still available? What's the price range? And what is the Martin promotion for Martin Modern?
Okay.
Just kidding. Tell me about the units and the price range.
All right. So we are now left with some 40 units. In fact, we are more than 90% sold. And with their recent turn back the clock promotions that literally matches prices back to January 2018, our 2 bedrooms are starting from as low as 2.09 million. And the 3 bedrooms are starting from some 3.1 million-ish. And the 4 bedrooms are starting from 4.6 million-ish. And note that all these units are all on above 20th stories, and they come with an amazing panoramic city view.
I can imagine. You spent a lot of time there. What stands out for you? What do you like about Martin Modern yourself?
I think Martin Modern was a new kid on the block in Robertson Quay, because it has been many years before a new development came in like a blockbuster. And this whole development has changed the landscape of Robertson Quay. And it kickstarted a new revolution of new other developments that came along the way. And, I think the best way to find out is to visit our booth to find out more.
People will be doing that. Hey, this Turn Back Time 2018 promotion, love the name, by the way. Is that only available here at the Mogul Expo?
Yes, so at this point of time, we are actually doing this specially for this weekend. So just come on in and listen to our booth. I'm very sure all our colleagues over here is definitely going to be able to help you and assist you further.
We love exclusivity. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Great speaking with you.
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
He's Kelvin Tong, Senior Group District Division Director representing Guocoland. You can connect with Kelvin and his team at their booth. All you have to do is click on our live chat or inquiry features to connect. A well-known development here in Singapore, the unit types. I'm even going to run through some promotions available for you because we've been working with developers for exclusive special deals for you. So you want to sit tight if you want to sail into waterfront living, because joining me now is Ramesh Pillai. He's Orange Tea Senior Sales Manager representing Keppel Land. Ramesh, how many years have you been in this industry?
I've been about 10 years, I think more than 10 years now.
10 years. So a seasoned voice that we're speaking with. So you're going to take us through a very special development. But first, I wonder if we could take a step back and understand the developer Keppel Land's philosophy from your perspective. What are some notable traits about the developer in terms of their branding or their approach to building developments that fit what buyers want?
Yeah, thanks, Michelle, for having me here today. It's a pleasure to talk about Keppel Land. Keppel Land is a leading developer of residential homes and prime office space in Singapore. They've contributed to enhancing the city skyline with landmark developments such as Keppel Bay and Marina Bay for quality homes, Ocean Financial Centre and Marina Bay Financial Centre for prime office space. However, over the years, what I really feel sets them apart from their competition is their commitment to really listen and understand the changing needs of buyers and creating solutions that truly add value and enhance the buyer's lifestyle. Keppel's emphasis on functional and quality home spaces has helped establish their brand as one of the most reliable property developers in Singapore. It is also heartening to know that Keppel Land is very much focused on sustainability, and they continuously strive to create responsible real estate solutions that mitigate climate change. So that's Keppel Land for you, a
All
brand to
right. So
reckon
one
with.
of Yeah, it sounds like it. And one
Yeah.
of your most iconic developments, I think, is Reflections at Keppel Bay. Once you've seen it, you can't forget it. It's really unique. Tell us more about this development for those of us who haven't visited it. What makes Reflections at Keppel Bay so special in your eyes?
Well, Michelle, I get a bit carried away when I start talking about reflections at Keppel Bay because it really comes with that many exceptional features. So I'm just going to highlight three key points so that listeners can remember them. Firstly, the architecture. Reflections at Keppel Bay is star architect Daniel Libeskin's first Asian residential masterpiece. Recognized as one of the most daring icons in Singapore and epitomizing world-class waterfront living. It's one of the key developments that place Singapore on the world's prime real estate map. Its iconic design contributes significantly to the rejuvenation of Singapore's southern skyline and its attainment of numerous international and local accolades, including the prestigious FIAPSI Prix Excellence Award, which was awarded in 2013. This development houses a total of 1,129 apartments, so a mega development along the 750 meters shoreline.
Wow.
Reflections at Keppel Bay was meticulously planned to maximize the views of the sea in the form of an undulating cluster of high-rise towers and a series of villa blocks. Talking more about the architecture, the double curvature form that you see of the high-rise tower blocks is almost surreal to the eye if you look at it from a distance. And it's something that Daniel Libeskin managed to create by having the towers 4 floor plates staggered at each floor. Something only a mastermind like him could come up with. So it's something to really behold at the site of Reflection. The tower blocks are also connected by sky bridges featuring landscape sky deck gardens that offer panoramic views of the surroundings to be enjoyed by every resident. So the architecture is stunning and world-class, but Reflections has so much more to offer, which brings me to my second key point, which are the lifestyle amenities. At Reflections at Keppel Bay, you will find the most exclusive clubhouse, which is designed to maximize stunning waterfront views of the bay, on top of other amenities like an Olympic-length swimming pool, a jacuzzi, a lap pool, tennis courts, and a state-of-the-art gymnasium. The development also comes with more than 1,000 trees and countless shrubs that were carefully placed to create a lush haven on the expansive grounds of Reflections. This really makes it the perfect place to get a respite from daily life. Well, some listeners might be thinking, my condo has a clubhouse and a swimming pool, so what's the big difference? But, well, all I have to say is, personally, I have overseen so many new launches over the years, but nothing even comes close to what Reflections has to offer. You really have to see it and experience it to believe it and feel the difference this exceptional development has to offer.
Yeah, and the good news is that we can all experience it virtually at this expo.
Yes.
So I can hear the excitement and enthusiasm. Your voice, has gone up a notch in terms of register. So I can
can help myself. It's just one of the best developments that Orange TV have marketed. So we are very privileged and proud to be talking about this development.
Oh, that's great. Are there still units available though for purchase?
Yeah. Currently, Keppel Land is offering a range of luxurious units in both the villa and the tower blocks. Besides the spacious 2 to 4 bedroom units, that are very attractively priced. There are also several penthouses within the development that are ideal for larger families. But I think for buyers with exceptional tastes, I think they might be intrigued to know that standing high atop the stunning crown of the tallest tower is the super penthouse of Reflections at Keppel Bay. This is a 13,293 square feet unit. This triple-story super penthouse is one of the largest penthouses in Singapore, featuring 6 bedrooms and a huge entertainment lounge. The view from this penthouse is nothing short of breathtaking. The almost 360-degree view of the sea and the city skyline makes staying at home a true joy and brings the owner to a space of his own. From the living room on the 39th level to the highest part of the tower on the 41st level, the views at almost every part of this penthouse will leave you mesmerized, gazing afar to take in the beauty of it all. I'm sure many of you are intrigued to find out more about the price of the super penthouse, so please do visit our booth and speak to our salesperson who are standing by to answer all your queries about Reflections at Keppel Bay.
All righty. We'll have to head to the booth for that price. That was the next question on my lips. Now, there's been a lot of hype about the development of this area, the southern waterfront. People want their properties to appreciate. So tell us, what does the future hold for investors of property in this area?
So I have personally had a stint working with URA before on a project called the Greater Southern Waterfront. And Reflections at Keppel Bay is at the forefront of the Greater Southern Waterfront, which is one of the major plans that has been detailed in the URA Draft Master Plan 2019. This mega project is 6 times the size of Marina Bay and will likely bring about greater interest in the area, and with it, plenty of new amenities. In the past, we have seen many examples of how prices of existing projects get lifted up when there's a new announcement by URA, be it a new transport hub or integrated development. We are already witnessing the same effect on prices and demand with the announcements of the first phase of the Greater Southern Waterfront development. This includes exciting new residential projects to be developed along the extensive Greater Southern Waterfront, the completion of the Circle Line, which is going to complement the Greater Southern Waterfront as well. The Brani Terminal, I'm sure you've heard of it. They're going to convert it to a resort island, and there's a rejuvenation of the Sentosa Island. There's defunct power stations at Pasir Panjang. They're going to redevelop as well to become the next St. James lifestyle hub. So I could go on and on. There's not forgetting the waterfront promenade, the nature trails, how they're going to just connect the whole Greater Southern Waterfront into the most sought after lifestyle destination. So therefore, I think the Greater Southern Waterfront precinct is the place to watch out for. And it will definitely be the most exciting place in Singapore to consider in terms of investment and a potential upside and a dream home.
All right, Ramesh, this next one's going to be a tough one for you. But what would you recommend to a prospect in terms of a value buy at Reflections at Keppel Bay? What should they be looking out for?
Yeah, a lot of my friends ask me this, and it's really hard to put a finger on a specific unit or a specific reason why you should buy Reflections at Keppel Bay. I would say, for those who are seriously considering the development, it's a multitude of factors. The waterfront location, the landscaping, the amenities, the urban form, all blending in together to create this really inexplicable feel-good factor when you enter the development. And in some ways, it's almost paradoxical that you're living in a city central location, yet you feel like you have escaped to this serene environment where you can just escape from all the hustle and the bustle of the city. So in terms of specific units, for me, I've been to all the units that are available for sale in Reflections, and all of them have a different key selling point. It caters to different needs and buyers. But what I want to talk about is it's how relevant the layouts is, how well that Keppel has designed the layout such that even today, when we are seeing some changing trends in terms of work from home because of the pandemic, people require a bigger space. They require space to set up a workstation at home. So yes. I feel that the units at Keppel really, really caters to all these needs, because it's the way they have designed it, be it the dry kitchen that opens up to the living area. So the whole concept of the merging spaces between live, work, and play, I think it resonates very well in Reflections. And so for home buyers, we're going to be spending a lot more time indoors working. I think this is definitely one of the top choices you should not miss out on. If you ask me what's more, I think it's one of those places really makes you want to go out, because the waterfront promenade is such an exciting place to be at. You just want to go for a run. So I think it's an environment you want to be seen, you want to be more active. So I think the environment makes you a bit more a more active person. So I think
this is something about waterfront living, right? You're
Yeah.
permanently on holiday. That's what it feels like.
Exactly.
Is that the backdrop behind you of reflections, by the way?
Yes, maybe I should move aside a bit for them to.
Oh, wow. Look at the towers. Okay. So the topmost floor would be 41st, did you say?
That's correct. Yes. So that's where the super penthouse is located. So something to definitely check out.
Really beautiful. So there've been a lot of promotions that we've heard of from developers that we've been speaking with. Some have these innovative turn back time promotions. What do you have? What current promotions are available for Reflections, Ramesh?
Yes, I'm not. This is something quite exceptional. Very you can't find it in any other development, because Keppel has very generously offered a stay and pay scheme, where buyers can move into the unit just by paying a 20% down payment, subject to terms and conditions, of course. But you can inquire more with our salesperson at the booth. But basically, you just need to pay the 20% down payment, and then you can move into the unit. So this is a really exciting opportunity for people who have a bit more trouble, gathering their finances together, or need a bit more time. So I think this is a good opportunity for buyers out there who are seeking this upgrade in lifestyle and still need a bit of flexibility to get their finances together. So this is definitely an opportunity for all of you to take note of. And if you're interested,
how long is the deferment for? So it's 20%, and then the rest of it is deferred for how long?
2 years.
24 months.
That's correct.
Would I have to secure the loan right now if I booked it? Would I have to secure the entire loan?
No, you don't. So it's at the end of the 2 years.
And in 2 years. Okay, terrific. Well, Ramesh, I hope to bump into you when you're jogging along Reflections at some time. It's been great speaking with you. Thank you.
Yes, likewise, Michelle. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
He's Ramesh Pillai from Orange Tea, representing Keppel Land, taking us through Reflections at Keppel Bay. And if you'd like to connect with Ramesh, you certainly can. At our expo, all you have to do is click on our live chat or inquiry features to connect. Welcome to the Property Talk Show. Good morning. We've had some terrific deals so far. And guess what? The fun continues. Next up, we're going to tour a very familiar area. But how familiar are you with the future plans for Holland Village? That's what we're going to dive into. I'm joined now by Jethra Ko. She's sales consultant with Far East Organization. Far East Organization is the largest private property developer here in Singapore. It's got a history that stretches back 60 years. Imagine that. Jethra was part of the launch of One Holland Village Residences back in 2019. It was much talked about then. I remember seeing headlines about it, and she's here to share more about One Holland Village Residences with us. Good morning, Jethra. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. I'm good. Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, so most Singaporeans would be familiar with the name Far East Organization.
Yeah.
But can you remind us more about the company, its place in the property ecosystem here in Singapore?
Sure. Okay, so Far East Organization, we are Singapore's largest private property developer that dates back to 1960s. So we develop and own a diverse spectrum of real estate products. We have residential, hospitality, retail, commercial, medical, even industrial space segments. So we are also the winner of 11 FEPSI World Prix d'Excellence Awards, which is the highest honor in the national real estate. So there are a wide range of properties that we develop. But to name a few, we have Oasia Hotel Downtown, Silver Sea, the Fullerton Hotel Singapore, Orchard Scotts, Boulevard View. All these are names that are projects that we actually develop. I'm pretty sure these are very familiar to all of us. Yes,
absolutely, totally right.
So our most recent launch should be One Holland Village Residences, which you mentioned earlier. So this is actually the best-selling mega mixed development project in District 10. So this is located in the heart of Holland Village. And I'm pretty sure, Michelle, everyone has heard about it all over the news, right? So everyone is definitely very excited about this development. Yeah.
I wonder if you can share a little bit with us about the revitalization plans for Holland Village. I mean, I remember if you went to NUS, it was Clementi, and then Holland Village was like your town area to play in. But what are there
Yes.
revitalization plans for this iconic area?
Yes, so to recap what Holland Village currently looks like. So if you remember, the crescent-shaped area of shop houses around Lorong Liput, Lorong Mambong, we have bars, cafes, restaurants all along. Even have aesthetic beauty parlor, not to forget our gyms and workout spots there. So nearby there's also Chickbee Gardens. We have Walla Walla, Fat Boys, Foster Sticks House. All these familiar names, Twister Jade and all. So this is how Holland Village currently is, but we are going to elevate this area. When I say elevate, it means that we will not demolish the current Holland Village. We will still keep the current heritage and culture of Holland Village, but we will elevate the part next to it. So right next to Holland Village is where we will elevate it with a 291,000 mega mixed development by 2025.
Where's this
So,
park
so,
relative to the Crescent? Where is this?
so right next to the Holland Village, at the open car park at the back, that entire stretch of land is where we will develop.
Okay, get that.
So
That's right in the heart of everything.
yes,
Walking
right in
distance to the Crescent.
yes, right next to it. Yes, so right next to the food center, the circular food center,
Yeah.
right there. Yes. So when I say mega, right, we have offices, we have a whole 100 retail units of shopping mall, we have service apartments and residential. So all four in one huge development. And this will be all done up by 2025. Yeah, so there's going to be, like I mentioned earlier, 100 retail units at F&B, right? And just to give you a better comparison, it's as many units as Wisma Atria. Wisma Atria is about 100 units. Yeah, so it's quite a mega shopping mall. Yes, and currently we do not sell our units. There's only for list. So we will ensure that there's a right mix of retail and commercial tenants in the area. And also our current anchor tenants, to name a few, we have Cold Storage, Guardian Pharmacy, the Projector Cinema. There's going to be a cinema at Holland Village finally.
Finally, yeah.
Finally, yes, and also Bedrock, a popular steakhouse that is now
wow.
located at 313. Yes. So not to forget also our 4 floors of office spaces with 80,000 square feet office spaces, and the largest will be about 19,000 square feet in one unit. So just to highlight, not to forget, there's also a new proposed road that we will build right beside, called Holland Village Way. So this road, because a lot of people feel that Holland Village may be traffic congestion and all, but for the residents, right, they have a special road, especially for them, that we built right next to the project.
Special entryway, so you don't have to go into Lorong Liput to access it.
Yes, go through Holland Drive instead.
Holland Drive.
At the back.
Okay,
So Holland Road is usually where it's crammed up.
Yes, and there'll be more parking, of course, right? As part of
Yes.
this development.
Basement car parks. 1, 2, and
Sounds
yes.
fantastic.
So it's
where
going to
does
be really elevated.
Where does One Holland Village Residences sit in terms of all this development?
Even when does it sit, you mean in the
It's
so
part of
you
the
mean
development
the
plans, One Holland Village Residences. Where is it relative to this?
Okay, so the whole project itself, right, is developed into a shopping mall. So on top of the shopping mall is the 4 floors of office spaces, but beside it, separated from it, right beside is the residences. So it's not all stacked up into one. It's divided into 2 segments. Yes, so there's still some peace and quiet for the residents. It's not all into power one whole. Yeah.
I'm glad you shared that. Why do you think that One Holland Village Residences was so talked about back in 2019? I mean, what was the hype about?
So firstly, this project is developed by 3 prominent developers. So it's a joint venture by 3 developers. Secretary House, which is the largest leading housing company in Japan. Our sister company, Sino Group, which is the leading property developer in Hong Kong, and also FICE organization. So first, other than the 3 prominent developers, right, this project also started off with a strong land bidding interest in year 2018. So when the government put this land up, right, 15 different consultants actually bid for this land. This includes developers such as CDL, Goco Land, UOL Group, many prominent developers actually bid for this land. But this land was also sold by a dual envelope system. So to give our viewers a better understanding of dual envelope system, right, it means that concept proposals and tender prices are submitted in separate envelopes. So there's 2 envelopes. So the first envelope is focused on conceptualization and design, while the second envelope is focused on the bid price. So this actually shows how much the government actually emphasize on the design component of the development and how valuable the heritage is to them. So the design is very important. I mean, it's very hard for me to explain how it looks like, but of course, later on I will share our show location. Come and take a look at how the model is. Yes, it's really a very
So this is so close to the MRT, you can pretty much walk to it. Is this all
Yes.
99-year leases for the residential unit?
This is 99-year lease, yes.
It is, okay.
What is
I
the
wonder
government?
if you can tell us the types of residential units that are still on offer, Jethra?
Yes, so Holland Village has 3 unique concepts, 3 separate concepts. So we have high-rise condominiums, we have low-rise estates, and also we have luxury private residences. So there's a total of 296 residential units in total only. So when I say 3 unique concepts, right, first will be Serene. So Serene is our tallest tower with 34 stories. Now this tower is 1 to 3 bedroom types and only a total of 248 units. So these are all north-south facing units. So there's no east-west sun. And also there will be the highest tennis court in Singapore on the level 34. Right on level 34, soon to be highest in Singapore. And yes, we have a sky deck as well, which overlooks the unblocked Good Class Bungalow view and Bukit Timah Hill towards the Good Class Bungalow 6th Avenue side. And the units here are also all thoughtfully fitted for slow living. So that's one of our concepts for our development, is slow living. So residents have opportunity to experience this unblocked view and have seamless extension to their living spaces with private balconies and all. So you really away from the hustle bustle of the city, you have this, nice, peaceful, quiet view and all. This is our concept, more on lifestyle living.
Yeah, I like the idea of slow living, and then you just take the elevator down and you're in this thriving
your bars, your
shopping
restaurant.
mall and heritage area nearby as well, right?
Yes.
So the different types of residential units on offer range from, are there any 1-bedders or are they all 2-bedders and up?
Okay, for the Serene Tower will be 1 to 3 bedders. So for the Quincy Tower, this is our private residences. This actually tops the uppermost 8 levels of the Quincy Tower. So the Quincy Tower is the one, the service apartments. So level 2 to level 20 is our service apartments. 21 all the way up to 28, that's where our private residences are. So all these units comes with private lifts, and 3 years concierge services, service apartment facilities, all this. So these are all bigger size units, 3 to 4 bedroom, even a penthouse in this development. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my favorite question to ask here at the Property Talk Show. Jethra, any promotions you can offer our wonderful viewers?
Yes, so for limited time only, we are running a promotion for our viewers. So for viewers attending our session today, right, for the next buyer, you get additional 1% off, making a total of 17% authorized discount on top of 16%, yes. And we are also giving up to 3% furniture vouchers, which is in a form of cash check for selected units. This will be given upon exercising of your unit. And so this makes up to about 20% promotion in total. Yes, so this is my QR code. If you'd like me to share more with you, please do scan it. My number is there, yeah. So I can share with you more about the project.
All right, I can just see it. People are picking up their phones, scanning the QR code. Jethra, absolutely great speaking with you. Before we let you go, if they're interested to view a unit at 1 Holland Village, how do they do that?
So our sales gallery is located at 9A Holland Drive, which is the open car park right behind Holland Village. So it's right next to Holland Village as well, very convenient. So we're open daily 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., but it's only on appointment basis now. So like what I mentioned earlier, reach out to me and I will schedule an appointment for you and show you around the project to give you a better
All right.
understanding of how it will be. Yes.
And in case you're watching us and thinking, I don't want to run to the next room and pick up my phone because I don't want to miss anything that Jethra says, don't worry. You can connect with Jethra and her team at the Expo booth. Jethra, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you.
Look out for Jethra at the Far East Organization booth, and you can click away to connect with all our speakers personally. And don't forget, you want to pick up your Expo pass, it's free at mogul.sg. You want the whole experience of our Expo. We've also got some great door gifts for you, so pick your pass up. All right, next up here on the Property Talk Show, we're going to meet the co-founder of Property Lim Brothers. This is a topic that is so close to my heart because I will be selling my little duplex apartment, freehold by the way, soon. But how do you get the maximum value for your home? Can you strategize for this? Melvin Lim is co-founder of Property Lim Brothers. They are a leading real estate team here in Singapore, serving clients with uniquely crafted content and marketing. I cannot wait to pick his brains on this terrific topic, how to creatively market your property. Melvin, welcome to the Property Talk Show.
Hi, Michelle. Good to be here. Hello.
Great to
Nice to
speak
meet you.
with you.
Yes.
So how long has Property Lim Brothers been around?
Right. So we've been in the market for 14 years. And 3 years ago, we decided to start our so-called brand name, Property Lim Brothers. And subsequently, we also started our own media production house, which is called Property Lim Brothers Media as well. Yeah. So if you calculate on the day that we first step in the real estate, that's 14. If you were to calculate, I mean, the way that we have been creatively marketing properties, like what you have just mentioned, that's about 3 years since about 2017.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
So is now a good time to buy new launch properties? What do you think, Melvin?
I think Singapore is on a very different scale right now. I mean, when we started 10 to 14 years back, we've been through a couple of cycles. We've been through the Lehman Brothers crisis in 08, September 11, followed by the subprime crisis 06. I think now it's really different because we are on a very stable and gradual growth kind of season right now, especially with all the cooling measures in place. So I think the market is pretty stable. I think the important question that a buyer will have to ask themselves if they are thinking whether is it the right time to enter into new launch or resale is really to do their homework wisely, so that the moment they enter, for example, in a new launch property, they are very sure that this is a choice that suit their needs. But at the same time, it offers some sort of certainty in the event, for example, after 3 to 6 years, if you want to exit, it will be so-called a viable option because we will share with our clients. I mean, the moment you buy a new launch property, 3 years later, that is going to be a resale property. So I think doing your homework wisely beforehand is really important. But I think generally speaking, Singapore is very stable. Our currency is strong. A lot of liquidity is coming in. Interest rates are low, and I think a lot of neighboring countries, investors, they're waiting to park their funds in our assets right here. So I think it's a fairly stable market.
Yeah, people want to guard their wealth, and so they're looking at property in Singapore as an asset class for sure. Is it common, in your opinion, for Singaporeans to first sell off their existing properties before they're able to buy a brand new condo because they're trying to figure out how to work with that additional buyer's stamp duty?
Yeah, great question, Michelle. I think this is definitely one of the very key consideration when it comes to selling and buying, because unfortunately, we are being locked down by two very so-called real kind of restriction. The first one is, of course, the additional buyer stamp duty pertaining to your second property. And of course, if you have not fully paid off your current mortgage, you will not be able to enjoy the full leverage of 75% of the other property. So, for example, if your current mortgage is not fully paid off and you went ahead to buy the second one, you can only take a loan of 45%. And of course, you have to take into consideration the additional 12% buyer stamp duty. So it all depends on what is the current status of the current buyer. So for example, very commonly, families or buyers that do not have that amount of down payment for the second purchase first, most of the time they will have to sell their existing place in order to unlock the current funds that's still so-called locked down under the current property, because very likely they have used their CPF. They have also have a substantial amount of so-called cash that is locked down under the current place, and they might need to sell off in order to release that funding. And of course, the second thing is they want to ensure that the current place is being sold so that they can so-called enjoy the 75% bank loan for the next place, plus not bogged down by the ABSD. But I mean, thereby saying this, there are many different scenarios. For example, a family might be, let's say, a husband and wife. They might be able to pay for the second purchase first, because there are so-called remissions for ABSD refund, provided that this family is buying the second property also as a matrimonial property. So I would say that it all depends really what is the kind of strategy that the family is going for.
You'd have to ask for special permission for that remission, right?
Yeah, remission, you have to hit a few check boxes. That means, let's say husband and wife, they own a current place and they go ahead to buy the second property. Let's say it's a new launch. They have 6 months to dispose their current place after the new launch has TOP'd. But this is provided that that property itself, they're also putting both their names in, and they must not have any other private properties. It must be like a one-to-one matrimonial property. Yeah, but if they want to go for a two-property kind of strategy and they only want to put in one name, then they are not eligible for the ABSD refund.
All right, good point to note. He's Melvin Lim, co-founder of Property Lim Brothers. In case you just joined us, this is the Property Talk Show. I'm Michelle Martin. This is a great session. Here's a key question I know many of you are waiting for. How can Singaporeans best plan the sale of their homes? Is there a strategy they can look to for maximum value, Melvin?
Yeah, I think definitely there is. I mean, we have tested and tried over the past 3 years. So over at Property Invest, how we position it is that we believe that every property has an opportunity to realize its maximum value. Most of the time, I would say that a lot of home sellers, when they put their properties in the market, they usually put it very hastily into the market itself. We like to advocate that actually the moment you want to put your property in the market, that property essentially becomes your product. And for your product to stand out in the crowd, to stand out in the marketplace, because essentially you're competing with a few different elements. I mean, very firstly, you might be competing with some of the new launch developments around your resale property. You might also be competing with other resale properties around your project. You might also be competing with the similar type of layout that your other neighbors are also selling in the same development. So buyers and sellers, they have full transparency of all forms of information right now, from portals, from a lot of places. Everybody is well informed. Everybody does their homework. So I think it's very important to position your property differently, and you want it to stand out. And a lot of time, I think the pre-planning phase is very important. Pre-planning in the form of online and physical viewing, in a sense, because right now in our day and age, actually when a buyer visits your property, they are actually coming for the second viewing. The first viewing takes place on the mobile phone, in a sense. So your property has to stand out on the mobile phone in order for them to want to spend their precious time over the weekend to drive down and view your place. And after you have created a content that is compelling enough to attract buyers to inquire about your place, I think important is when they come down physically, what are some of the first impressions that they get when they walk into your place? So things like spending a bit of time to declutter your place. For example, if let's say you have a lot of stuff that you have kept over the years, you might want to consider what are some of the things that you will definitely not bring over to your new home. And if you're definitely not bringing to your new home, you might want to start giving them away, or maybe selling them in the secondhand market, or giving to your friends and stuff like that, so that you can declutter your place. Some research has shown, I mean, nowadays, because I think everybody is very busy with our own professional work, sometimes it's very daunting for a buyer to walk into a physical property. And if it's a vacant home, it's very hard for them to visualize how the layout will look like with furnitures. If it's a very cluttered home, sometimes within the first 8 seconds, they will have formed a very negative kind of connotation or impression on the property. So we do not want to have our own physical lifestyle affecting the amount of buyer audience that you can impress. Because end of the day, this is not renting out your property. You're really selling a property to the next owner. You want to ensure that your place impresses and it is of a status that is very easy to impress buyers, so that they can truly see what is the true value of this place and not be really bogged down by our own clutter and things like that. And of course, apart from that, I think the important thing is also to try to imagine and visualize, if you are the potential buyer, what are some of the things that might be blocking your sale? Like, are there certain obstacles? Have you hacked down 2 rooms to make it into 1? Have you so-called like altered some of the layouts and things like that? And you might want to try to visualize, if you are the buyers, what are some of the possible obstacles? And I think if you have went through that process mentally, then your success rate will definitely increase.
I love that. Declutter, my favorite thing to do in life. Think about
Home
the buyer.
staging and yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
think about the impression that your property is setting off in the first 8 seconds. Hey, do you think it's essential these days for property owners to think about video for, showcasing their property on mobile, optimizing them on mobile?
Yeah, I think because I mean, photos, they are great. Of course, the only thing is that sometimes in a sea of listings, I mean, like most listings, they have at least 70 to 80,000 listings. And if I'm a buyer, I'm scrolling through all the photographs. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to pick up certain things that I might want to know on a deeper fashion for every property. So if there is a good, compelling video content that's being created for the place, this gives an opportunity for the property to be shown in a fashion whereby we can really bring out all the plus point. We can tell the story about this property. You can tell about why is this property different? How different is this layout from the rest? About the facing, about what are some of the possibilities that you can do with this place. So I think a video content, if it's compelling, it captures attention and it will draw the audience in to look in deeper. So we have also done different so-called like tests and surveys, and we've realized that sometimes a lot of buyers, they missed out on good properties because photographs sometimes is a little bit harder to tell the story in a deeper fashion. And sometimes after looking at the video, they realize that, hey, actually I can consider this property because I didn't realize that this property has this set of plus points and stuff like that. So I think video will be the way to go for the next many years. I mean, most of us are consuming videos on social media. And I think with a good video content, it also allows for more direct social media marketing to reach out to the right buyer audience.
Great. Before we let you go, do you have any staging tips for us? I've heard, the smell of coffee can entice people to feel like it's home. If we're talking about capturing attention that first 8 seconds, what are some tips you can share?
Yes. Yeah, great question, Michelle. Yeah, I think importantly is that because I mean, in Singapore, we have different cultures and everybody has different preferences. But there are some so-called studies that have shown that if you were to keep your home neutral, you will open up your home to a larger and a wider buyer audience, because most people, they are okay with neutral colors like white color, light beige colors and stuff like that. So of course, the very first thing is if there are places in your rooms or in your living room that has very bold colors, and maybe you think that, hey, this bright red might not suit a certain group of buyer audience, and it might turn them off a little bit and stuff like that, then it might be good and wise for you to probably just invest a little bit.
Great tips there from Melvin. I've learned so much. Remember, you can connect with Melvin and his team, the Property Lim Brothers team, at our expo. I haven't said it enough. You really have to get your free pass at mogul.sg for the full immersive experience. This is our final day. The passes are free. You have to get them. And then you can click away to connect with all our speakers personally and check out some of those great promotions that we've shared with you, that we've been working so hard with developers on. It's been so great to have your company at 10 a.m. every morning here at the Property Talk Show. Until next time, I'm Michelle Martin. Have a great day.